Hi everyone, welcome to Percona Live online of this year. My name is Zoriana Stefanyshyn, and I will, together with Peter, present you the following topic: how to set up and manage alerts for databases with integrated alerting in Percona Monitoring and Management. A couple of words about myself. I am the QA analyst working at Percona already more than 1 year. So I mostly focused on test planning and execution and also documentation. And I'm trying to ensure that our customers have products of high quality and also that this product meets their expectations, of course. I should say I just started my career in the open source, and this is also my first experience in sharing a talks. So I should say I really enjoy it. And next is Peter. Please, several words about you.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Boros. So I'm a principal architect in Percona's consulting department. I'm your typical database engineer who is focused on automation and performance tuning. And before Percona, I worked for Percona, so I'm returning. And among many others, I worked at Dropbox, Zora, and some microsystems. So I will act as the production database user in this talk.
Cool.
Back to you.
Let's start. What should we cover today is to check out our slides and about us section, and also going through agenda. Next, we will show you how to set up our demo environment and also how to configure the integrated alerting. And maybe we will experience some alerts in our PMM system and define some of custom alerts. I'm passing the word to Peter because he organized all this setup. Please share with us how we set up this demo.
Okay, thanks. So we wanted to show the demos in a way that you have an easy way to try it out yourself, an easy way to reproduce it. And what is an easier way to reproduce it than to open source the demo environment and to allow you to try it for yourself. So it's on that GitHub URL, and it's a Vagrant-based setup. So it will create 4 virtual machines in VirtualBox. 2 of them are database servers, MySQL database servers. They are using Percona Server 8.0. One is a source, another is the replica. We will only use the source in this demo, but we wanted to give you a replica as well, so you can play around with replication-based alerts. For example, create an alert on replication lag, which is a very common thing to do in production deployment. Of course, we have a PMM server, and this demo environment wouldn't be complete without a client. So we have a sysbench client, which runs on a separate machine, which will put some workload on the systems, so we can show the demos. One disclaimer is that this is not intended for production use. It has hard-coded passwords, like the admin password is password. So you will see why it is not a good idea to use it in production. And once you clone the Git repo and did a Vagrant up, it will download some custom. It will download some custom boxes, which will have the PMM server and MySQL pre-installed. This is needed so the startup time of the environment is less. And it will run some Ansible playbooks to set up replication, set up the PMM agents and everything. But both the box building process, the boxes are built in Packer, and both the Ansible is open source. So you can, from this repo, if you are curious, you can see how this demo environment is built from the ground up. Okay, so after you have the Vagrant status and you have it running, you can navigate your browser to the PMM hostname. We are using NIP.io to provide hostnames to this environment. Basically, you need to provide an IP address before it, and anything with that IP address or any hostname with that IP address will resolve to that IP address. So if you go to the PMM server hostname, you will have the login screen. You use admin as the username and password as the password, and then you will be logged into the PMM server, and you can start replicating what Zoriana is about to show you. And
okay. So I'm going to show you how we can configure our integrated alerting feature. It's very cool because we can be notified if anything in your database goes wrong or there are any problems your databases are expecting. We created some slides to show how to enable the feature, but let's try this on our demo environment. We should go to settings. Under advanced settings, there is a section for integrated alerting. It's still in feature preview, but we hope we will, with the feedback from our customers, we will soon have this feature not in this state. We should just enable the toggle, apply changes, and our feature is enabled. But it's not enough just to enable integrated alerting. It will work, it will show alerts on UI, but without the communication settings set up, you will not be able to receive messages for your alerts to the channels that you specified. That's why I pre-configured my Slack and email settings. Everything you have to do for receiving alerts, notifications on Slack, you just have to add your Slack webhook. And also for email, you should specify the SMTP settings for your server. And that's actually from settings side is. Let's go to our integrated alerting feature. Let's check our slides. That's actually what I already mentioned to you. We just summarized it also in the slides. Maybe it will be also interesting for you if you will set up your first communication settings or even other integration alerting settings. So as for the architecture, there are four main entities in the feature. We can start from the alert rule template, which serves as a basis for other entities, because based on that template, we can create an alert rule. We can then have this rule violated and receive an alert. And we can see this alert on UI and also receive as notification as message to the specified channel. Alert rule template, as I said, it's like the source for your system and for your alert rules. We have in the PMM, we have already built-in templates which you can easily use. Just when you create alert rule, specify the template that you want to use, and you will be able to do this. And also, I should mention also that custom templates can also be created. We will cover this part a bit later. And just to note, each of the alert rules needs a template. So these are our built-in templates, as I showed. There are different types. You can see there MongoDB restarted or MySQL restarted. Also high CPU load, everything you will need, I hope. So if we speak for the alert rules, I would say this is the source for template. Let's go to rules and create one. First of all, we have to choose the template. As I said, it's not possible without template to create any of the rules. I have, for example, let's create MySQL connection and use. Let's use this template and create some rule one. Let's specify the threshold of 70% and some minimum of the time. Let's put 5 seconds and put the highest severity to this rule. And vote for a template expression. Maybe Peter, can you please explain us what does it mean, this expression?
Yes, sure. So the template expression will determine what will we be alerted on. So on the first line, you see threads connected. That's actually threads connected, the MySQL status variable from the show global status output. MySQL global status threads connected is the metric name in PMM. You can see the name is very spot on because it's the threads connected variable from the global status of the MySQL server. So very, very good naming choice right there. We can see that the 5 minutes means that we are examining this metric in the time frame of 5 minutes. And we are using the max over time function, which means give me the maximum value of this 5 minutes. It's important to note that one of the biggest advantage of PMM is the granularity of the metrics. By default, we have 10-second granularity, which is fairly unusual for monitoring systems, but you can go as low as 1 second granularity. This is very important for 2 reasons. One is debugging. If you have a low granularity, you will be able to clearly see cause and effect relations from your metrics. So you won't have chicken and egg problems. 10 seconds or even a minute is a very long time in the life of a database. So 1 minute resolution might not be enough for troubleshooting everything. And then we divide this by the max connections and multiply it by 100. And you can see max connections is coming from global variables of the MySQL server. So again, the metric name MySQL global variables max connections is really spot on because it's the max connections from show global variables output of the MySQL server. So this will be a number. It will be a percentage. So for example, if I have the max connections set to 100, and in the last 5 minutes, on average, let's say I only have 10 connections used, but I have a spike where I had 62, this max overtime function will return that spike, and I can get notified immediately that I'm about to run out of connections or that my users are experiencing degradation. Of course, if we reach the max connections, chances are very high that some of the users will be impacted by the out of connection errors in MySQL. So that's what the template expression looks like. you can define similar things for many metrics, and you can define operations here.
Cool. I will just press add button and we will create our role.
Would it be a good idea to notify us in PagerDuty?
Oh, yeah. I think maybe I will add the PagerDuty, and at the time I add it, I just will cover a bit our notification channel section in the integrated alerting. You see, I already predefined my Slack, PagerDuty, and email channels. Simply, I created a test channel in Slack, and also test PagerDuty account and test email. How to do this? I can show you. It's easily. You can just add incoming webhook app to your Slack account and configure it. Add the webhook to your communication settings and it is also the same for PagerDuty. You will just have to register, then copy your service key, and that's it. And the same for email, just SMTP server settings will be enough. So if we go back to our presentation, I would say this is the ideal case I would wish everyone has in the systems and the databases when we do not have any alerts at all, like everything works fine. But I understand it's not, the reality is not so. That's why we can expect many alerts in our everyday life. I show you the examples, and there are critical notices, and for all types of alerts that you can imagine. There's also when database is down, or too many connections, or high CPU load. Everything can be also alerted. This was already covered. I just included this this slide to show you that this possible, and how it's easy to add any source of notifications, like any source of messages that you want to receive. This is an example how it looks like when you already have your alert sent to, for example, to email. Of course, it will be improved in the future, but now it looks like this. This is for Slack example. Oh, and this is for PagerDuty. Do you hear this noise? Seems like I have an alert on on my PagerDuty. Let's
Oh, no.
check. Yeah, Peter, was that you?
Wasn't it a good idea? I just started some workload on the database server, right? So, it's there, so we can use it, right?
Great. That's great. That's a good example of how to use and how to set up this all. Let's go back to our presentation, and I see we do not cover yet the custom alerts. How to do this? This is very easy. You should just navigate to the template section, specify your own alert. I have my test example there. Just open it. And do you see it has just the name, or just summary, also the expression. You can put your own. This is for MongoDB memory usage, and other params can also be customized. I don't know, maybe some rage, some severity labels, whatever you want. I just want to say you can create alerts for any environment you want. You can filter any alerts. That's possible. Just play around and try it. So you just add to press add, and your template is already there, as you can see. And based on this template, of course, you can create alert rule, which will trigger an alert. We also included in this presentation several examples just to see and maybe try this. And it's not, as I said, it's very easy. So that's it from our side. I would say thank you, and this is our QA session. Time for QA.
Thank you as well.